The robot revolution. Are they coming for your job? It's the question on everyone's mind. But what if we're asking the wrong question? What if this isn't about robots replacing us, but about them filling a huge gap that we're leaving wide open?
Yeah, because the real problem, the one that's hitting industries right now, isn't too many robots. It's too few people. We are in the middle of a massive, massive labor shortage.
And when I say massive, I mean just look at this number, 2.1 million. That's how many manufacturing jobs in the US alone are projected to be empty by 2030, according to Deloitte and the Manufacturing Institute. And that's just one sector. This isn't some far-off sci-fi scenario. It's happening now, and it's forcing companies to get creative fast. So all of this is brewing up a perfect storm. You could call it a modern worker crisis. It's putting intense pressure on companies to figure out new ways to just get the work done. And this chart, wow, it really tells the whole story. Look at those two lines. Since 1990, the cost to pay a person has more than doubled. In that exact same time, the price of an average robot, it's been cut in half. You can literally see the lines crossing. This kind of economic pressure is making automation not just a smart choice, but an absolute necessity for many businesses. So you've got this perfect storm, right? There are fewer workers, they cost more to hire, and all the while, the technology to automate tasks is getting cheaper and way, way smarter. And then, of course, COVID hit. That just threw gasoline on the fire, exposing just how fragile our supply chains really are.
Okay, so who's stepping in to fill this gap? Let's meet the new workforce. And spoiler alert, it's not just one kind of robot.
You can basically break them down into two main teams. First, you've got your physical bots. These are the big industrial arms you picture in a factory. Welding, lifting, packing, all the heavy-duty stuff. And then you've got the digital bots. This is a technology called robotic process automation, or RPA. Think of these as software bots that work on a computer doing all the boring, repetitive digital chores.
And here's a great visual for it. On the one side, you've got the hardware, the big metal arms doing physical work. On the other, you see what the software side looks like. It's this sort of invisible workforce that's all about making digital tasks and office work run smoothly. And both are total game changers.
Let's dig into RPA for a second, because it's a really big deal. Seriously, just imagine a digital employee that you can train to do all the mind-numbing computer work. It can open apps, copy and paste data, fill out the same form 100 times, all the stuff that nobody wants to do. It basically takes the robot out of the human's job. All right, enough theory. It's one thing to talk about all this, but let's see these robots on the job. Where are they actually making a difference out in the real world? How about this? At Levi's, they use these automated lasers to get that cool, worn-in look on their jeans. By hand, that could take almost 20 minutes. The laser? It does it with perfect precision in just 90 seconds. Think about that leap in efficiency. It's just wild. Or check out what Ford is doing. They have these autonomous mobile robots that just zip around the factory floor, delivering parts where they need to go. That one change frees up 40 human work hours every single day. And that means those people aren't just pushing carts around anymore. They're doing more valuable, complex work. And look, this isn't just about cars and jeans. Automation is popping up everywhere. In hospitals, it's assisting surgeons. On farms, it's harvesting crops. In food plants, it's gently packing delicate items. And in the military, it's doing incredibly dangerous jobs like reconnaissance or disarming explosives. The revolution isn't coming. It's already here. Which, of course, brings us right back to that big, scary question. With all this tech taking over, what about us? What about our jobs? Are they disappearing, or are they just changing? This is really the heart of the debate. The fear is job displacement, that robots will just take all the jobs, the end. But the reality that's emerging is a lot more interesting. It's looking more like job enrichment. The robots are designed to take on the dirty, the dull, and the dangerous tasks, freeing up people to do the things we're best at, thinking, creating, and solving complex problems. And hey, this isn't just wishful thinking. An academic study on RPA found exactly that. This quote here says it all. When they offloaded the repetitive work to the bots, not only did things get done faster, but people's job satisfaction actually went up. Turns out, people like their jobs more when they don't have to do the boring parts. Shocker, right? Okay, so people are happier, but were they more productive? Did they actually get more done? Well, that same study found that after they brought in RPA, work output shot up by a staggering 60%. But wait, here's the real kicker. They got that 60% jump in output with no statistically significant change to the number of hours people worked. Let that sink in for a second. More work got done, but nobody got laid off or had their hours cut. The company got a huge productivity boost, not by replacing people, but by augmenting them. It points to a partnership. So if it's a partnership, what does that actually look like? Well, let's talk about our collaborative future. This is where things get really cool. We're seeing the rise of a whole new class of robot, the cobot, or collaborative robot. You can see some of them here. Unlike the old-school factory robots that are locked away in cages for safety, these are designed to work right next to people in a shared space. They're our new coworkers, basically, assisting us, supporting us, collaborating. Ultimately, the whole narrative is shifting. We're moving away from this mindset of humans versus robots and toward a future that's built on humans and robots working together. Each one brings its unique strength to the table, which leaves us with a final thought. We need to stop asking if robots are coming for our jobs. They're already here. They're filling critical gaps, and in many cases, making our work better. The real question we all need to start asking ourselves now is, how will we choose to work with them?